Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. You are tuned into Bigmikes vlog. I'm your humble host, Big Mike, coming to you from my home. Welcome. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I'm doing pretty good. For those of you who are new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a neighbor, tell their third or fourth cousin to watch this lovely vlog. Okay. Before I kind of get into the nitty gritty of this vlog, I want to kind of do a few shout outs beforehand. I want to thank Nina Williams, or Naya, sorry, said her name wrong, Naya Williams, and her sister for inviting me to the protest last Saturday. I attended a protest in Hamilton, to the Black Lives March in Hamilton. It was a great turnout. Over 600 people had attended that particular march. A lot of guest speakers. It was really great turnout. So I wanted to thank her for allowing me the chance to actually not only attend, but to actually speak at the march. So I did do a speech there. So if you guys want to check that out, it is posted on my page here. So feel free to check it out if you haven't done so already. That kind of will segue into my topic. So last week, like I said, I went to protest in Hamilton for social injustice and racial equality, or that's what we're fighting for ultimately. That's ultimately what the protest was for, as among other things. It was an amazing turnout. I had a lot of fun being able to speak to the crowd. I got a good reception from people and everything. I posted it on my social media, Facebook and Instagram as well. Got a very, very, very overwhelmingly positive response. Was not expecting the response that I got. Was very appreciative, don't get me wrong, but definitely was not expecting the amount of positive feedback that I had received. When my sister in Vancouver, shout out to Diane, she had said, I've never been more proud of you than I am now, seeing that, so that meant a lot to me, her saying that. So I would say from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I was on this very euphoric high. And then I think Tuesday, Wednesday, and parts of Thursday, well, mainly Tuesday and Wednesday, I would say, I had kind of went down the Facebook and Instagram rabbit hole that all of us normally go down. And I saw so much division, so much hatred, so much negativity, so much misinformation being put out there on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. And I got so dejected and deflated that I had reached a point where I just said I need to be off of social media for a while. So I took it upon myself. I haven't deleted Instagram and Facebook, and I want to preface that. I know people saying, well, YouTube is social media. Yes, I'm saying in terms of like Facebook and Instagram specifically, I am not currently using they are not on my phone or on my tablet. I checked Messenger a few days ago just to see if anyone messaged me, and that's about it. But I don't really plan on going on Facebook or Instagram anytime soon. And to be quite frank with you, this is my third day not being on it. The less I've been on it, the more I don't miss it. So we'll see if and when I do decide to rejoin. I don't know at this point if I am or not. I just needed a break. I needed to get off of it. And I think that was the one thing, because I had gotten to a point where I was getting very irritated with what I was seeing in the comments. And I just said, okay, if I stay on here, I'm either gonna kamikaze myself and just basically call people a bunch of coons and shit and get blocked. Or I can take it upon myself to take myself off of it for now and then come back on when I'm ready. So that's kind of what I did. And a lot of it, just like the comments I was seeing, I'll give you a couple of examples. Like one person I had seen, a friend had screenshotted and posted this on her page, that a guy had basically said in a nutshell that there's no racism, there's no such thing, there's no racism anymore, and black people are complaining too much. So that obviously irritated me. I saw this on two different people's pages. And one of the people I unfollowed. She was a friend that I was following, and I unfollowed her afterwards. But it was a white girl. She basically had said that. What did she say? Oh yeah. So she was basically like, black people have BET, but if if a white company came up with WET, white entertainment television, that would be seen as racist. And I just shook my head and I'm like, you guys are fucking stupid. Do you not realize that black people did not have outlets to showcase anything on TV? Like they refused, like MTV refused to play hip hop or Michael Jackson or anything. Like, you don't realize that? But I just said, okay, I'm going to delete this. And then I just saw, I think that was one of the things that triggered me. But then I also, what was it? I think someone had posted one of my friends, she had posted on her page basically saying that, she supports the Black Lives Matter movement in a nutshell, and anyone who doesn't can basically fuck off. And, she's going to unfollow them, block them, whatever the case may be, because she's not for someone, or not going to support or be around someone who doesn't support the movement. So a lot of people like commented saying, yeah, I'm with you, girl, and all this type of stuff. And I believe her cousin had commented saying, oh, that's so irresponsible for you to say, and all lives matter, and it's not about race, and the world is going crazy, and we all need to stick together, and blah blah blah. And my friend's friend list basically ripped her cousin a new asshole. Like they just went in on her cousin for about a good 20 comments. I read through it, I was like, holy shit. And eventually, make a long story short, her cousin came around, and I, like an asshole, commented, and I jokingly said, so I guess that was a great conversation that you guys had. And she kind of like was sad face, and I just kind of was like annoyed. I'm kind of annoyed because the reason being is that, I went from this, like I said, euphoric high of the speech and the protest, and then I come back and I go on social media, which is probably a bad idea because you see all the negative and fucking nonsense on there. And as a matter of fact, I was actually blocked on Facebook for a week and a half ago because I had made what was considered quote unquote hate speech, or posted something that was considered hate speech. Meanwhile, I saw people posting the George Floyd challenge for a better part of a week and a half, and that shit was not blocked in any way, shape, or form. So Facebook can go fuck itself as far as I'm concerned with that, because there's no consistency with what they're doing. But I want to go back specifically to the All Lives Matter stuff, because that's kind of what I'm going to title this vlog, with the question mark again. Because I have a few questions that I want to pose to people as well. But also, too, and another thing I want to mention, that I actually also watched the Dave Chappelle 846 Netflix special. I don't think it's on Netflix, but it's on YouTube. So if you guys haven't watched that yet, I would definitely advise that you do, because it's probably some of the best. It wasn't even really a comedy sketch. It was more just him venting. And I felt the anger and pain of what he was speaking on, and I feel it now. And now I go back to the questions that I have, because I'm just curious to all the people out there who want to say all lives matter and it's not about race. I have a question for you guys. So in 2017, when Stephen Braddock in Las Vegas murdered and massacred 50 people and wounded 500 people, did you guys post or say that all lives matter then? I just want to know. In 2015, when I think this man by the name of Omar Moten, I believe, in Orlando, opened fire in a gay nightclub and shot and killed 49 people, did you guys say all lives matter then? Let's even go to this year, in April, when the massacre happened in Nova Scotia, where 20 people were murdered in a mass shooting in Canada. Did you guys say all lives matter then? So what I don't understand, for the life of me, and somebody who is all about this all lives matter bullshit needs to sit there and explain to me, is why the fuck are you saying all lives matter now, when in those 3 instances, and there's probably more that I could list, but this vlog will probably be an hour and a half long, where a mass shooting happens and I don't hear or see a hashtag of all lives matter after all these fucking people get murdered and massacred. But yet, when a black person gets killed and people say all black lives matter, you motherfuckers instantly want to say all lives matter. Why? Why? I don't understand it. You know? It fucking drives me nuts. I don't get it. You know? Because here's the thing, like, think about the term Black Lives Matter. Think about what it is essentially in a nutshell that Black Lives Matter is essentially trying to say. We just want our lives to matter. Just to matter. Like Michael Che in this comedy special said it best. We just want our lives to matter. We're not saying that our lives are more important than yours, or our lives are more special than yours, or we deserve special treatment more than you guys. We just want our lives to essentially fucking matter. And yet, there are so much people out there that are so fucking ignorant and so fucking stupid. I'm sorry to say this. They're fucking stupid that they would take Black Lives Matter and turn it into something that we're trying to make it seem like we want special treatment, or being negative or condescending, or we don't like, or we don't see that everyone else's life is important. That's complete horseshit. Listen, I've been to 2 protests in this city. I've been one protest in Toronto, another one in Hamilton. Every single person that attended those protests, their lives are important. I've never heard anybody say to the contrary otherwise. But what we're saying is if you're going to sit there and tell me with a straight face that everyone's life matters, then how come George Floyd's name now is being dragged through the mud, and they're bringing up that he was in porn, and they're bringing up all his criminal cases and all the criminal shit that he did? I don't give a fuck what he did criminal-wise, to be quite frank with you. Because listen, if you're going to now sit there and tell me, well, he did all this bad shit, if you're going to tell me that gives the cops license to do what he did, then every single fucking person who has a criminal record, whether it be a DUI or an assault charge, whatever the fuck, they deserve to die too then. That's essentially to me what the fuck you're saying. Which is, again, sounds asinine and ignorant for me to say, right? Just like you bringing up the fact that his criminal record has any validity to him losing his life. It doesn't. Doesn't. And it just irritates me. Like, for example, I was seeing a lot of stuff being shared, especially from this fucking rat-faced bitch Candice Owens, and I'm not even going to apologize for me saying that, because I have absolutely, unequivocally zero respect for Candice Owens and these coon-ass motherfucking black folk out here who are trying to sit there and shift the movement and trying to be sympathetic to these colonizing motherfuckers who have been doing fuck shit. She did a 9-minute video. I didn't watch the video. I had seen cliff notes of the video because there was a dude who is actually critiquing everything she said, talking about how I don't see George Floyd as a martyr. And what bothered me the most is there are so many white people sharing that fucking bullshit, trying to justify their stance by saying, well, see, Candice Owens is saying this. She's a black woman. She's in the community. Let me make this crystal clear to you racist ass white folks and you coon ass motherfucking black people. Now, I can't speak for any other black person on this planet except myself. But what I can say honestly, unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, is that fucking bitch does not speak for me, will never speak for me in any way, shape, or form. She is a fucking moron. This same woman who sits there and talks about there is no racial issues and no racial discrimination in America is the same bitch who sued a school for racial discrimination. And that's the person that you want to go off of? You're a fucking idiot. So fuck you and fuck her as well. Period. Miss me with that. And like I said in my last vlog, the reason why I am so very honestly blunt and I'm going to cuss these coon ass motherfuckers out, especially her, is because she should fucking know better. She should fucking know better. And the fact that she's so flippant and ignorant shows how stupid she is. I'll give you even better context. Because I was curious. I did some research on Friday because I was curious. Because, for example, with the protests and the movement, the way things are going now is such a, and the groundswell of the protesting and everything has been great. And now monuments in the States are being taken down of racist figures that were once celebrated are now being taken down. Like, for example, I had looked up today, I was watching an article or watching a video on YouTube of this sports, Skip and Shannon, this sports debate show that I watched, and they were talking about one of the players there, this college football player. So basically, give you background. So his name is Kellen Mond. He plays for Texas A&M, and he has asked to have a statue of Lawrence Sully Sullivan removed from where Texas A&M is. Reason being is that Sully was described as a very racist individual. Now, here's the thing: 24,000 people have signed to have that signed a petition to have the statue removed. Here's the bad part: 25,000 have signed to keep the statue there because he did contribute money to the school to keep it afloat and blah blah blah. So I did some research as well because I was curious on who the fuck this Sully guy was. So I'll give you a bit of history on this person. So basically, there was a cleansing, I guess you could say, that he was involved in called the massacre at Peace River, where he enslaved and killed Indians. Okay, he was basically a brigadier general for the Confederates, and I'll explain what the Confederates were again for those of you who may need a fucking history lesson. So what he also did was he sent a militia to a black community to dismantle and injure blacks as well. And another thing, he was actually quoted by saying, and I quote, "I will not recognize Negroes as soldiers." So to all those 25,000 people in Texas or Texas A&M who want to keep that fucking statue, but let's say you claim to be for equality and you don't like racism and you're not a racist, why the fuck would you want to keep a statue of this man there? Why? Because he contributed money to your university? I don't understand that. And I even went a step further from this because I was curious why white people love the Confederate flag so much. I was curious about this, so I did a little bit more research. And this is all information you can find on the web. I'll actually post 2 articles that I read up on, that I got this information from, so you guys can look it up yourselves, so you know I'm not out here fucking talking nonsense. So there was an article that I read, basically interviewing people in Mississippi specifically, talking about why they love the flag, why they continue to hold the flag, the Confederate flag, in such high regard. Now, again, the Confederacy flag is basically from the war in 1861 between the American South and the American North, where basically, in a nutshell, the American South was fighting to keep slaves. Now, the North had slaves too, don't get it wrong, but the South's sole purpose was to make, one of the biggest reasons was they were there to keep slaves. Now, they interviewed a bunch of different people, and their take is, oh, well, it's not about racism, it's about our heritage and us being rebels and this and that and the third. Now, here's the thing that I also found out. So they did a survey in 1860 of people in Mississippi, and 49% of people that lived in Mississippi, white Mississippians, owned a slave or at least 2 slaves at that time. Because there was one of the guys that said, oh, well, a majority, it wasn't that everybody had slaves, there was only like a small amount. Some people didn't even have a dog. But yet almost half of your population owned a slave. You were essentially fighting to keep slavery because you saw blacks as inferior and you wanted to keep them with no rights. You know what I'm saying? And you guys don't see a problem with that, which is mind-boggling to me. I don't understand it. You know, I never understood that. So I did some research on that. I just thought it was fascinating to read what people said. You know, and then there was one person who said, well, you know, we already apologized to black people. What more do they want? What did you apologize for? Like, what did y'all say specifically? Did you actually say that you're sorry? You know what I'm saying? And I hear all the time, I hear people say, oh, you know, black people need to get over it and slavery and this and that. Tell somebody who's Jewish to get over the Holocaust. Tell somebody who suffered a loss or suffered some post-traumatic stress during 9/11. Tell them to forget that shit. That shit happened almost 20 years ago. Tell them that. Go tell them that. And my thing is this. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like I said, is that people have to draw a line in the sand on where they stand on this issue. I'm not going to parse my words on that. And my thing ultimately boils down to is this. If you're not going to come with a tangible solution to our problems, then sit the fuck down somewhere else. Because if all you're going to do is want to talk all lives matter and there's no racism, and you're going to tell people, oh, well, you have the right to protest, but just don't march, just don't kneel, just don't do this, don't do that, but you can still protest, then shut the fuck up. Because deep down you don't want motherfuckers to protest. Which is fine, but just say that. You know? I don't know. And I don't know. I just was, like I said, like I think getting off of Facebook and Instagram was good. I don't have any regrets on it. Will I go back on? I don't know. It could be a week from now. It could be 6 months from now. Who the fuck knows? But right now I have no plans on going back on because it's just a lot of misinformation, just a lot of people just talking shit with not even doing any research. You have I literally took an hour out of my day to research this stuff on the Confederacy and to research the stuff that Kellerman was talking about. Even to research the killings that happened. It took me not even 10 minutes. But yeah, people want to sit there and make comments about shit and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like I remember, and I'm gonna shout out my sister Tara, because she had told me about, there was a dude on Facebook who she had seen was making comments about Central Park Susan. And basically, for example, I won't get into full details, but he was basically making comments about the Central Park Susan situation. For those of you who don't know, you should look it the fuck up. But he hadn't even watched the fucking video. But yet he's sitting there making comments and giving his opinion about something. But he doesn't even have the full fucking story. So why don't you, so instead of actually taking 5 minutes to actually watch the fucking video, which I did, which most people did, no. You want to sound fucking smart or think you're fucking smart and give your opinion about something when it doesn't have any validity. Like, listen, opinions are like assholes, okay? Everyone has one, and all of them and most of them stink, okay? For people who are probably stumbling on this channel, who probably don't like what I've said for the past 22 minutes, you probably think my opinion sucks. I could give a flying fuck. But at least with me, I've done my research on the shit. So that's why I can say this shit passionately. You know what I mean? And again, I will challenge anybody, like I said earlier, when those mass murders and those mass shootings happened, I want you guys to go through your fucking timelines, go through your fucking tweets, all that shit, and show me when you guys said all lives matter when those things happened. Or were you saying, oh, well wishes, my thoughts and prayers like every fucking else like everyone else was. I'm curious. You know? Like, I don't know. You know, do I think this movement has legs? I do. It's not that I've given up on it. I don't want to come across and make it seem like I've given up on it or I bailed on it. I haven't. I am just generally frustrated about everything going on right now, the negative stuff. And I think by deleting Facebook and Instagram, it'll give me a chance to reset and hopefully get me back into a better place where I'm going to be attending more protests and getting more involved and stuff like that, because that's ultimately my goal. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to sign off, but I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry, and I'll leave it at that. But I have another one I'm going to be posting shortly because I got some updates for y'all that I want to update you guys on, so I'm going to do it on the lovely vlog. So stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you don't like my video and you don't want to like and subscribe, that's fine too. Guess you're clearly not for the movement. I'll just leave it at that. And anyway, Big Mike signing off. Take care. Peace.